welcome back, everybody, to another wonderful episode of Banter on the Rocks. Today is Tuesday, May 26th. Got myself Tim here today, as well as John, of course, and as always. If this is your first time here, welcome to the show, of course. And to everyone who tunes in each and every week, thank you so much for all of that support. And make sure you hit that follow and subscribe button so you're here for each and every weekly drop. And on today's show, we're going to be diving into our latest banter takes. Of course, to our Wolfpack soccer check-in. We have summer movie bash check-in, NBA talk, and some UFO talk that we're going to get into. And of course, much, much more as we go along the way. And as always, we're bringing you real talk, honest reactions, and plenty of banter along the way. So, all right, we'll get into it now as we do each and every week. We have our banter drink of the week, what we're sipping on, why we chose it, and how it's feeling ourselves for today's show. And again, broken record keeps going, John. I have to make my way through a pack, of beer. Made West Hazy IPA. It's good stuff, classic. But over the weekend, I will say, took a trip over to see the parental units over in Arizona and found a IPA out of Tucson that was very tasty. Love trying local beers. It was a good sip. It was hot, not too hot. So it did the body right.
Very good. Cool. Awesome. No, I'll say I am sticking to the same. Some tequila with Te Salud. Just taking some Te Salud, finishing off what I got. Placed another order, so hopefully that gets here soon.
Hey,
but yeah, I stick to the same old. But we'll continue on, and I know you wanted to share almost like a weekend recap before we continue with soccer check-in.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a couple things. We'll start off with super proud fatherly moment. Getting my son into baseball. He's starting to play more now. He's even made the request today now that we're back home. Hey, you want to go play some baseball? We've already made plans to go do so tomorrow.
Nice.
Dude's got a hell of a swing. Great velocity. Got to work on hand placement a little bit more, but man, like he's got some speed and super proud. And speaking of the speed, though, just crazy moment within all of this. Set up the ball on the tee. He just wanted to let it rip before I could clear away. Great swing, incredible velocity, but ended up hitting 3 balls at once, my 2 included. Absolutely annihilated me. Was gasping for air. Had to drop my mitt and run away. That was part 1. Give it about 30 minutes later after I finally recovered a bit. Ground ball up the middle, straight into the nuts for round 2. I felt like the goalkeeper that kept getting hit in the face over and over again in that YouTube video. I think there's a volleyball one as well. Felt the same exact way. Couldn't be more proud. The ground ball was absolutely ripped straight up the middle. Thrilled on that. Recovered now. Just told everybody, hope nobody wanted more grandchildren, because that was something. And then added a little inventory here, John, in another topic to the memorabilia case for the Banter podcast lounge on my end. Took home the Muhammad Ali boxing glove this weekend.
Nice.
Asked for permission to take this bad boy home. Was granted permission.
Nice.
So got that, another legendary great to pair it with the MJ jersey.
The MJ.
So we're stacking up pretty good.
Yeah, that's a nice one to add to the MJ and who is it? The Tropics. I was gonna say Ricky Bobby. Not Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
That's another legend.
It sure is. And shame on me. I literally
I don't know why I'm blanking on it.
I'm blanking too.
The Tropics.
I'm gonna effort on that.
What is it? I'm testing myself if I can remember. Jackie Moon,
Jackie
right?
Moon. Bingo.
Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon. That's it,
That moon,
1,000%.
Jackie Moon jersey right there.
I take that back, John.
Legends.
Yeah, 3 legends in the man
Yeah.
cave. Love it. Yeah, feel free to rank yourselves. You got Jackie Moon, Muhammad Ali, and Michael Jordan. Can't go wrong with any of them. But yeah, nice little addition. I'm gonna try to find a way to hang it so that way we can have it on display here. Jordan jersey might be a little tough with the window, but we'll see what we can muster up here.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's good. As you guys can see, I'm back to somewhat of a normal pod. This is my new studio. I don't know why I feel like an echo, but it'll get better. But all I got up right now is my out of time signature. So I'm from Back to the Future. But I got to figure out how to post more of my memorabilia. I don't think I'm at legends like that, but still, I got Christopher Lloyd up there signed license plate, so that's legit for me.
Just as badass. Love that.
Yeah, no, but that's good. I'll see when Keanu wants to get into sports. He's starting to get like an interest in like soccer balls, kicking, throwing. So I'm like, okay, you're getting there, but I'm letting him go at his own pace. Not trying to force him.
Yep.
Other thing he's liking to do is like pretend cooking. So I'm like, okay, if you're a chef, as long as you can make food, I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he does. Yeah. These LBs will start packing on even quicker.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. But no, I mean, hey, yeah, no pressure. I mean, literally, Theo's, he's about to be 9 now, and let him take his time, and happy he's finally kind of getting into it.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's cool. But that's an awesome weekend check-in. But we'll go into our next segment we've always had the last few months, the Wolfpack check-in. And it's been a bit of a soccer check-in. EPL officially done. Wolfpack, I'm not going to say unfortunately. I think we've known for almost a month, regulated. But I've read a lot of reports. I think there's a lot of promise for them to come back to the EPL next year.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, I think that there will be a lot of promise, especially if we can, keep a lot of this roster. I know that they're not absolute studs that everybody's kind of going out and begging for. Of course, some of them will go, but I think that we are in a good position for this. Mm-hmm. We have, the fan support, and I certainly think we can build our way back. Excuse me. So yeah, there's that, and then in other news, Tottenham survived.
It was good. I don't know how to take it. Good for them, because like I said, a team like that getting regulated could really just bring you down. But also I would have liked to see the chaos. West Ham got regulated. Hearing a lot of rumors that West Ham players are going to be asking to leave, so they may be struggling a bit. Moving forward, because I think in the Champions League it's a lot of competition. Wrexham is there, Wolves. I think I forget who else. I don't know if it's Leicester City, but for West Ham to get out if they are losing a lot of their top players, and they can't sign decent players to help them in the Champions League. Hey, they could see multiple regulations, and seeing them in the lower division, it's unfortunate for West Ham.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, it's unfortunate for West Ham. I saw a lot of player reactions, fan reactions. I think I saw a player watching it on his way into the tunnel. Obviously, extremely disappointed. Tough look, for West Ham altogether. But we'll see. We'll see if they build their way back into it. Much like Wolverhampton. The Wolves. I have a lot of promise in them. Going to keep fighting.
Yeah.
Following them, watching as many matches as possible. And, I think that's half the fun, is kind of watching your team kind of build back up and fight for it. In other news, I saw Mo Salah, final match, right?
For Liverpool.
Yeah. Kind of young, right? I think he's only like 33. Me and Rob were kind of talking yesterday a bit. I don't know if that's old for soccer.
Soccer terms, it's a little older,
Okay.
Once you get to a certain age, it's like you start declining speed wise. But he's been at Liverpool for quite a while, so I don't know what his next journey will be. I think I think what Liverpool is doing is they're just bringing in their younger players and getting ready for the next generation.
Hmm.
Trying to get back to winning the Premier League because it seems like Man City might go through a little bit of a change with Pep Guardiola. Looking like he's out. Chelsea hasn't been on top. Man United might be a team to start looking at coming back, and then hats off to Arsenal. Arsenal won the league. They didn't botch it the way we probably expected. For a while that they could have.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Mo Salah's last game it looks like for Liverpool. So I'm curious what his next steps will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Is he competing World Cup? I'm
Yeah,
assuming. Okay.
Egypt's in
Egypt.
the World Cup. Yep.
Yep. I think that's one of the teams that is competing in the Bay Area, Santa Clara, if
I
I'm not
think so.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
No, more exciting with him on it for sure.
yeah.
I heard briefly, about some of the locations everybody was staying in over this past weekend too for World Cup. Interesting to kind of hear like, where they're staying, kind of like the
Hmm.
geographic differences, and I guess the coordination of everything
Hmm.
as far as the World Cup goes all together.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, have kind of a big topic this past
Hmm.
week with the regarding the U.S. men's national soccer team. Don't know if you saw this, Sean. If you get cut by this team, you receive an email telling
I
you
saw
about that you're
that.
cut.
Yeah.
It's pretty bush league, if you ask me.
It is. I saw that today. And the big name was Diego Luna getting
Hmm.
cut from the roster, and like I say, how accurate this email is, I think coach sort of confirmed it with I think it was a news conference today when they announced their players, but it's just a bad way to do it. As a coach, you gotta share why, let that player know like it was a hard decision. Make it more heartfelt than an email because it's sort of like
Hmm.
getting let go by through Zoom, in a team
Yep.
meeting. It's just not the way to do it. The coach, he sort of mentioned like it's not something people like to do. Sometimes some of these players would prefer to hear it via email than hearing all the fake like, oh, we still believe in you. And it's like, I don't think so. I think you were just finding a way out of it. I would say it's already a bad look for Team USA.
Yeah, no, rough look. We look super amateur when we do stuff like this too.
Hmm.
It's like, let's make it out of the first round. Number one,
Hmm.
like let's try to
Yeah.
actually be competitive this year. And this is a team that's supposed to be one of the most competitive U.S. men's soccer teams that we've had
Hmm.
in decades. So it's like to have this and then send, I'm kind of saying here, they sent like a total of around 55 emails
Hmm.
simultaneously notifying 26 players who made it and 29 who were left behind.
Hmm.
And, we always joke, everybody, has full-time jobs, part-time jobs, whatever. You always
Hmm.
joke like, this meeting could have been an email. This is
Yeah.
one of those situations where it just shouldn't have been an email.
No,
This
yeah.
is it's much more serious than that. You're competing
Hmm.
for your country. World Cup stage is as big as it gets for soccer, and to receive an email notification saying that you've been cut is
Hmm.
just brutal. Like, at least let's try to do it the way they do it in the NFL, off season. We see it on the TV show of the off season, where, they're called into a room, and those are
Hmm.
always like so well documented interviews because everybody kind of wants an eye in on,
Yeah.
be a fly on the wall for those. At least those, they're talking face to face and letting them know in person. But yeah, the email just seems so secondhand, like, um, just, yeah, out of touch.
Yeah, it's out of touch. It's not a good way. Um, I'm not happy how they did that. And like I say, who knows if this is the way they've done it for many years. Um, I think just because there were some big names being left out, it's why it's bringing so much more attention. But yeah, I still think it's the way they did it, just crappy. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, like I say, out of touch, out of sync. Do it the NFL way. Just do it. It's what I think about it is like Moneyball. In the scene where Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, they have to tell their
Hmm.
players are getting traded, and Brad Pitt's just telling them just go say it straight up. These players are professionals. They know. Like, are they going to be hurt? Of course, but they know that's the risk. Like I
Hmm.
say, they sign up for this, so it's the way it should have gone.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, John, if you, let's just say that you tried out for the team, unfortunately you got cut and you received an email, much like Diego Luna. Are you competing for Team USA the next go around for the World Cup, or are you maybe thinking about, another country that you might qualify for the roster?
I don't know how it goes exactly because he's already
Mhm.
played some of the international games and some of the big tournaments
Got
if
it.
he's committed to the US. But I think it's one of the big topics, and I think when we got Rob on, we could talk to him a little bit more about it. But like Diego Luna could have played for Mexico or US, chose USA.
Hmm.
Honestly, the last few tournaments, the last few games for Team USA, Diego Luna has been a big part of it and the a big heart for Team USA. Not even as a captain, just as a player, putting his whole body out there. There was a game where Pulisic wasn't playing. A lot of these big players, McKennie wasn't playing because they were saving themselves, rest, whatever, during one of the big tournaments. I think it was
Hmm.
the Gold Cup. They didn't play. They decided not to, and Diego Luna stepped up and he gave his all. There was a picture of him with a bloody nose, still playing the game, not stopping.
Hmm.
So, and what he's done for, he plays here in the MLS. I think it's Dallas he plays for. I don't follow MLS too much, so I can't be 100% sure. He is one of their top players, one of our young talents, and not to take him, I was surprised. Big surprise for me. It's a big snub for Team USA. I looked at the roster. I see a few players he could have gone in front of. The
Hmm.
one player I think he should have gone for instead is Christian Roldan. Roldan's a good player, has played in the last World Cup,
Hmm.
but when I see this roster, a lot older, he's 30. Diego Luna's 21, 22. Give him the experience. He's done so much for this team. Like he's earned it. When you want veteran presence, but man, you got to give these youngsters a chance, get that experience for the next World Cup. Because for us to get past this World Cup, I don't see us winning it. I truly don't see the USA winning it. So
Absolutely.
why Luna was snubbed, I don't know. But what also sucks is like Luna's part of like all the ad campaigns, everything like World Cup jersey. It's Diego Luna that's representing and showing off the jerseys, and he's not even going.
That's insane. Yeah, and I know he's a big figure for the MLS as
Yeah.
well. Yep. See, he plays here, midfield, Real Salt Lake.
Oh, Salt
He's
Lake.
only 22. He's from the Bay Area. I certainly remember looking him up a few months ago. I think I came across like a TikTok video where somebody recognized him in
Mm-hmm.
public. Seemed like a really cool dude, down to earth. Um, you know, yeah, Nike World Cup promotional ads. He was in most of them, and he's left off the roster. You mentioned that he's being competitive in these games. He's being a big part of it when Pulisic isn't there. It's just like with his age, he could have been a big spark for
Mm-hmm.
this club. Like, in maybe a dire moment. He's obviously young, high energy. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's just it could have gone a long way. And I don't care if you know soccer or not. I just feel like it's one of those things where you have somebody who's 22 years old versus 30. You're gonna probably side a little bit more with the 22-year-old professional
Mm-hmm.
versus the 30-year-old because
Yeah.
Yeah, the energy component. And when this is a team that has not been competitive for years and years and years, man, you got to look for some type of edge. You got to change something
Yeah.
up, and this would have done it. That's a shame.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, yeah, it's a shame. It's unfortunate, but it is part of it. There are a lot of other bigger snubs. I don't know if you read into a few, Tim. João Pedro for Brazil. I was disappointed with that one.
Saw that one.
One of
Neymar,
the
right?
yeah
Got
for
called
it
up.
most likely for Neymar. Could have been other players, but man, Pedro's been on top form for Chelsea. The guy that's kept us alive. Not get
Yep.
into the bottom half of the league. Great player, 24-year-old, should have been selected. But yeah, I know when he's played with the national team, he has struggled, but still, like I said, this is the World Cup. He might show up. You need those young legs, and Neymar has a history and a track record of injury. And it's like you need healthy guys. You need them to be healthy because one injury, it could throw your game off in the World Cup.
Absolutely. Does I mean, Brazil's always competitive. Very good team. Do they have the ability to kind of save Neymar for later rounds, or is this a team that needs to battle up front, kind of worrisome? They could lose a fluke game.
I honestly, I don't even know if Neymar's going to start.
Hmm.
I feel like Neymar may not start. He may come in during some big crunch time situations if they're tied 0-0 to try to get a win. But like I say, if I was Carlos Ancelotti, I wouldn't be starting Neymar. I would let him come off the bench if I really need that spark, and also just wait till the later later rounds. But they have a solid squad, so that's what I'm saying. Like Neymar, I think they did it just so he has the same amount of World Cup appearances like Messi and Ronaldo. Um,
Hmm.
but like I say, top form, he isn't in his top form, very injury prone. But um, yeah, kudos to him. Like I said, he's still a great player. Still has a lot of of that old Neymar, but can he do it the same way he has been? I don't know.
For sure. Yeah. No, I saw the reaction video of him, getting called, and it was a pretty cool video. Good for him. I know he's battled through a lot with those injuries, but if you're thinking just health wise,
Yeah,
it's one of those things you got to really think about. So
yeah, yeah. And then the other big name for me, Cole Palmer, England, got snubbed. He's a guy that's one of the top goal scorers. Big guy. England snubbed. You can say England snubbed quite a few players. So what they're gonna do or what's going on, I'm curious. I'm curious. England, I think, was a heavy favorite, but with these snubs, I've heard some people say that the coach is trying to just sabotage England.
oh man, yeah, that'd be crazy if that's truly what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
England's famous soccer player. He's been in multiple World Cups. What's his name?
David Beckham
Nah,
or
no, he's still there.
currently? Oh,
Current.
Harry Kane.
Yes, Harry Kane. Small video
Yeah.
from him. I know he's certainly getting up there in age. He's got to
Mm-hmm.
be pretty old at this point. I know he's on the roster. I saw his announcement video regarding it.
Yeah.
Is he a name that like Harry Kane can still be really effective and good for
Yeah.
England, or is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
He's still really good. He's a forward, so he does what he does. He's been doing it with Bayern Munich this year. So like I say, he's not a name. I think after this year he might sort of fall off. But no, yeah, he is a name that deserves it.
Dear Lord, he's only 32. This is a guy who I
Yeah,
thought was like 45
because
at
he's
this
been
point.
playing for so long.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, he's. I mean, good grief! It seems like he's been there, two decades at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and he's been playing with Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
Good for him. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm sure there's some hope with England, but again, yep, sounds like more snubs. Maybe they notified the team with a little bit more than just an email, though.
Maybe we got to find out what they did. But like I say, well, I think when we got Rob here, I'll let you look into some of the big snubs, get some info. We could talk a little bit more about that. But
Yep.
in addition to World Cup talk, I don't know if you saw Tim. It was one of our banter takes a few weeks ago. More jerseys dropped. More FIFA jerseys dropped.
No.
I don't know if you saw it. We have Miami,
Look.
San Francisco, LA, Philly, and Mexico City. They've dropped.
Got it. Yep. No, we. I know we got a good amount of feedback on the FIFA jersey take.
Did we?
I think a little bit. Yep.
Okay.
And and I think people kind of thought it was decently agreeable. With what we were kind of saying, I think the consensus with Boston, with the lobster, I think that's the way to go. But I might have a new favorite here now that we're talking about these jerseys.
Yeah. So looking at it for me, I like the Mexico City. Looks clean. It looks like a bird on the side. So very Aztec looking in a cartoonish style. So I like it. I like the colors too. That orange with the green.
Oh, I see that.
Nice. Yeah, very nice color. It's legit. The one I will say I'm disappointed in, and it's ours, LA. Like I say, I like the look of the background, but just it could have been more. I think very low effort with this one.
Yeah, looking now. Why does that leg look like some type of like smoke? Gotta have just billowing up. Very odd. I couldn't tell.
That one power plant in Orange County right now. That's what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's a toxic cloud of what is it? MMA?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's Garden Grove, California. You get the sunset and conspiracy. Am I seeing a streak of one of the planes? People always talk about those planes leaving the smoke cloud behind. I see that.
I see it now. Okay.
So we're just feeding into the conspiracies.
Very cool, small detail.
Yeah.
That maybe not many people, or unless it's just like a misprint, and they're like, "Yeah, let's just call it that."
Yeah, right. Might as well run with it. Yeah. Why are we not including Hollywood sign? Why are we not including Capitol Records building? Why are we not including Santa Monica Pier, beach, just downtown skyline, and then a random lake sticking in there? I mean, we could have even just pulled up a freaking hot dog cart in the corner off of a shopping cart, cooking LA dogs.
Yeah.
Silly ideas.
Could have been a little bit more, but I would say I'd wear that over the Casey still.
Oh yeah, Casey's
the color scheme of that's okay. I don't mind it.
I still don't get it.
Yeah,
I still don't get it. No explanation. Just don't get it.
Yeah, and then San Francisco. We sort of mentioned San Francisco SF.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Golden Gate Bridge.
Yep.
And that's the Golden Gate, and the other one is the one going to Oakland, right? What is that one called?
Bay Bridge.
Bay Bridge, right? Yeah. So both bridges.
Could have done better.
Yeah.
Could have done better. Could have thrown a seal on there. Could have thrown Alcatraz. Yeah. I don't know.
I think on the left of the Golden Gate, it looks like your guys' 49er stadium, like the scoreboard or whatever. You see that?
I see that. It does look a little bit like Levi's.
Yeah.
Should have done AT&T before that piece of garbage. We should have just put a power plant on there.
That's what we're going to do for all of them. All the power plants.
Yeah.
I think the one little cool detail is like the little electronics. You know how it's Silicon Valley near there. Looks like the computer, hardware.
Yes, kind of like those microchip connectors. Probably sound really basic, if any viewer is in that field. Idiots. But no. Yeah, I agree. That's a nice touch. I like that. It's nice to see that there's not like a zillion ads for like Salesforce or all the big guru, Apple, Google. Yeah, no, I mean, hey, not terrible. Not KC bad.
Yeah, not bad. We go to Philly next.
Got Philly, yep.
This one looks pretty good. I like the blue, the heart, the brotherly love heart. It looks like just a lot of city, points.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay, pretty basic. I'm going to rank this just above Kansas City, I think. Trying to look for any other added touches. Why didn't they just put like just a big Ben Franklin on there?
I don't know.
Just with his monocle. Could have just done that. And then like or just had the $100 bill somewhere. That would have been pretty badass. That would have been sick actually if they would have done that. And then they could have had like Philly fans for any team climbing a greased light post.
Yeah.
That would have been really good too. Or just a big fat Philly cheesesteak on there. I would have taken that also. But yeah, no, not the worst.
Yeah. Not too bad. I think the one that's going to compete for pretty great, Miami, the flamingo, the soccer ball, colors, Miami Vice looking colors.
Yep. Like this one a lot, John.
Yeah, I'm liking it. Looking at
the back too. This might be the best back to a jersey that we've seen with that palm tree with the pink. If you're seeing
that's nice. Yeah,
that's
really
that's
good.
a good added touch. No, this is a vibe. This is a good one. The flamingo makes sense. How many flamingos are native to Miami?
Probably none. At the zoo.
Crocodiles, probably more. But no, valid. It makes sense. It makes sense. I like this.
Yeah, so that one's up there, I think, with Boston and Seattle. I think those are the top three for me right now. New York, New Jersey, getting close, but not in my top three.
Yeah, New York, New Jersey. It's actually my first time looking at this one. No, we saw this last week, right? Liberty sign.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Out of today, I think the worst was probably Philly, then SF. Miami, I think, took it, and then LA shortly behind. Oh, Mexico City. Sorry, I can't forget about that. Mexico City's solid look too. But yeah, all of these releases, much better than KC. Makes a lot more sense.
So there's still seven more coming out.
Wow.
So we'll see how these next 7 go.
Yeah, we need some Canadian stuff, right? We haven't seen any Canada releases.
No. Let's see what we got for Canada. Vancouver, Toronto. Those are the only 2.
And then we got Guadalajara for Mexico. And then we got Dallas and Hotlanta.
Yeah.
Imagine if they just put wings.
And Houston and Monterrey.
Okay. Houston and Monterrey. Excellent. I really hope they go with some Magic City.
Magic City little sign on the side.
Yeah.
You have to.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, but those are jerseys. And then the one thing, I've been listening to World Cup songs. I heard the Shakira one, the new one. Pretty good. Don't mind it. But I think I found my World Cup anthem for the year. It's by Nelly Furtado, Electric Circus. Heard it yesterday. Saw the music video to it on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Very great. I like it the most. She's repping Canada, so hey, going to be supporting Canada because that's, for me, the top World Cup song for this year.
That's, big fan. Nelly Furtado. Fly like a bird. Great song. So I mean, if it's anything close like that classic, we're gonna be in true luck here. So love to see it. I'm gonna have to watch that. Nelly Furtado. What's the name of the song?
Electric Circus.
Electric Circus.
Yeah, good song.
Kind of EDM-ish.
Yeah, it reminds me of some EDM. I think that's why it hits a lot closer to the heart for me.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah.
We kind of need that. I mean,
Yeah.
let's steer away from Chevy commercial and let's just go more Shakira and Nelly Furtado.
Yeah.
It's much more fitting for World Cup soccer.
Yeah.
I was thinking Chevy trucks.
Yeah, no.
With the other stuff we were trying.
But like I said, I think there'll be a few more songs coming out. You know, I think Canada. So I think I'd rather doing a soccer album. So I think it's going to be more Canadian artists doing more songs. Mexico, I think we'll get a few songs in there too with some of their, national musicians there. And then, like I said, we'll see what else USA pulls out. But can't be what they already did because they failed.
No, we have better artists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope Drake maybe, I know Drake, sorry, just real quick snippet here. Drake getting a lot of heat, I think, for his 3-album release. Just everybody give it a couple tries. Give it a couple tries. I've listened to most of the albums maybe 2-3 times through now. A lot more of the songs super catchy. And I like it after that amount. So
good.
Don't be so quick to judge.
Yeah.
Play it out a little bit more. Hopefully, Drake, you get your Toronto accent going and give us another banger for for the World Cup. That would be great.
Yeah. I've listened to a few. I still need to go through some of the songs and listen to them a few times because that's usually what it takes for me a few times for some of these artists to start liking it. If I'm not a big fan immediately, but like I said, when I'm a big fan immediately, first listen, you got me hooked. And like I say, Nelly Furtado with this song, it did it. Drake, I think I can't even think of what song I do like, but then I have to listen to the rest. But we'll see. Still a Kendrick guy though over here.
Still a Kendrick guy. Yep, can't blame you. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
fun times.
But yeah, that's our Wolfpack soccer check-in. Might have been our longest soccer segment since we started this.
We're getting. I'm getting better. You had the knowledge, and then hopefully we get Bondo and Rob on for a quadcast. We'll call it. Would be a lot of fun having their soccer knowledge.
Yeah, either next week or the week after. I think the week after is pretty much already World Cup week. So
crazy.
We're getting there, but yeah, that's Wolfpack check-in, and we'll go into our banter takes. This is our segment where we talk about the hottest takes of the week for us. So with these, we don't prep each other, we don't compare notes, and we definitely don't pull the punches. Everything you're about to hear is just really fresh off of our mind, real-time reactions. So we're going to get into it. My first take, Kenny Atkinson is the leader of the clubhouse when it comes to analytical delusion. He won the NBA Finals in make-believe land, not Cleveland.
Oof.
Yeah. What the Cleveland Cavaliers did, because he's Cleveland, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, head coach, Cleveland Cavs.
Cleveland Cavs.
Yeah, and I can even elaborate a little bit before your judgment here, John. And Kenny Atkinson, clear leader in the clubhouse when it comes to delusion. He basically said, if you look at the stats and what could have been, if we would have made our threes a little bit better, our 2-point shots a little bit better, we could have been up 3-2 in this series. So, big time analytics guy. But for him to kind of go off of random stats and if I would have made that, if you would just shut the hell up, Kenny, you would not, probably be a hot take right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like it's what everybody talks about, and like say him bringing analytics, it's like it could have been a lot better if you didn't play James Harden. James Harden is a toxic, and you could touch on it a little bit more. I know you're a big James Harden not believer. Yep. What he's doing the analytical delusion, we've seen it happen a lot. I think it's very rare that analytics really wins and makes a big difference. After that, it's just experience and the players you have. If you look at, we'll talk shortly here, the Knicks. The Knicks are a team I don't think analytic wise shouldn't be in the place they're in right now. Jalen Brunson being one of the smaller type stars, analytically, it's never been a star at his stature that has been able to make it to the finals. But this guy has been leading that team for years. So it's going directly the opposite of analytics, So when it comes to analytic, it's crazy. Cleveland needs a big change. And I honestly think Cleveland's just going to go downhill after this. I'm hearing Spida's going to look for a trade. I think James Harden is just, I hate to say it because he was part of my team, just toxic. Because what he did to a team that probably could have taken on the Knicks after their double overtime loss, they just sucked. Like, they just could not compete. Losing by multiple points, getting blown out to where starters probably aren't even playing in the fourth quarter. Like, it is insane. And, you could say, like, it's a player's fault, but no, it starts with the coach. Coach always has to take the blame. Kenny Atkins is the guy that should be blamed. Why he's still remaining the Cavs coach with this embarrassing sweep, I don't know. But it's also, I know the Cleveland owner is also probably a little delusional.
Yeah, I think just a little bit. He clearly benefited from having LeBron for as long as he did. And I'm not even a huge LeBron fan, but I think anybody in their right mind can kind of say, like, yeah, the Cavs clearly benefited from having him. And I think that there's a ton of backlash so far as around the league or even just Cavs fans with the decision to keep Atkinson, despite, this playoff trip coming up empty handed. He has all the right elements with this roster, and then pairing all of this, you have James Harden, who playoff Harden can't get shit done. He's awful in the playoffs. Like he's just straight garbage. I said this a couple weeks ago. I've been saying this for years now, even before this podcast. He disappears in the playoffs. He's not the same player. But that dude has, just had dump trucks full of money. So, good for him. I think at this point in his career, like, what does he care, about the rings, go for the money instead. And he said, though, genuinely, I do feel like we are the better team. And it's like, you're just hanging around Kenny too much. Yeah. Because it's like, you have this guy analytically telling you that you should have been up in the series. Yeah, of course you're going to start to believe it. So I don't know. There's a lot going on in Cleveland that isn't good. And then you bring up a great point with Spida Mitchell. What are we going to do with him? Are they going to try to turn and re-sign him? If they are, he's going to be due an astronomical amount of money. He's a player who kind of disappeared a bit, in these games. Played decently, but again, coming up short. He's clearly couldn't be enough to carry this team. And hey, but he's a guy that I think is due big money. So I don't know what they're going to do with him. Obviously, they already made their decision on Kenny Atkinson. If they're going to maybe go hand in hand and just keep Mitchell at this point, maybe that's something to do. Maybe request a trade, tries to get out of there, seeks, other employment, with another team that might be a little bit more competitive, or maybe a team that will win the real deal and not analytically. We'll see.
Yeah. And maybe they're keeping Kenny because LeBron's going there. LeBron with his farewell tour, going back to Cleveland, to a coach that he was with to win one. Is LeBron the missing factor for the Cleveland Cavaliers? I don't think so, but can be a difference maker. You have to still give it up to LeBron. Can be a difference maker. James Harden stats in the 4 games against the Knicks. Game 1, 15 points, 5 for 16, 3 assists. Game 2, 18 points, 2 assists, 6 for 15. Game 3, 19 points, 8 for 15, 1 for 7 from 3, 5 assists. In game 4, 12 points, 2 for 8, 0 for 6 from 3 with 2 assists. That's just horrible numbers that he turtled and disappeared.
Yep. Yeah, straight up disappeared. Yeah, I don't know if any possible elements will do anything for the Cavs to kind of get them over the edge here, because yeah, they're in just a world of hurt. And if you have a leader that's basically just going off of straight analytics, why would you want a guy like that to analytically join your team? Because that's not going to be great unless you're just counting like rim outs, or hey, so close on a lot of those. Dang, that would have gone in practice. Yeah, no, it's just downright horrendous, and quite frankly, I think it's really embarrassing that you have a coach that is talking about analytics in this sense. I think analytics, in a big sense these days, is pretty overrated. That might be a hot take in it of itself around a lot of leagues, and I don't care what sport you're talking about: baseball, football, basketball. I think analytics are awfully overrated these days.
Yeah,
look at Dan Campbell with the Lions. He bases everything off of analytics. If he would have just gone for field goals against the 49ers, probably would have beat us. But he didn't. And he went for 4. He went on fourth numerous times. Didn't work out. They had control of that game. Blew it. Kenny Atkinson looks like a complete fool talking about, analytically, I think we've won. I said three out of these series would have been up 3-2, 3-1. And it's like, dude, like you're just pulling it out of your ass. You just seem like a complete sore loser. And it's like, dude, just because it didn't go right in your head doesn't mean that, it's going to work out. So, I don't know, man. I don't know the direction of that franchise. They got some good bigs too, but I feel like James Harden's a kryptonite as well. I'll say it. I feel like he is. He just disappears.
Yeah, and like I say, you make a great point. It could be a topic for another day. Analytics is just so overrated. I see why they look at it. It does give you good insight, but it's also, you talked about it with Dan Campbell. I think we talked about it a lot during the NFL season. It's like these teams that went for it on fourth, in short, 4th and 2, when they're at the 30-yard line, was like kick a field goal, get 3 points, like. Because you saw them, I forget if it was the Lions or someone else, but they missed like 3 4th down attempts where they could have gotten the points, and they would have won if they just would have kicked those field goals. So it's like, it's not always analytics, and it's sort of like these people that just say analytics. What system are you using? Are you using ChatGPT? Are you using Gemini? Claude? Like, what AI are you using that's telling you this is the way to go? And you're letting AI take over. Like, we're big AI fans, but we also know, like, hey, you can't always believe it,
Yeah. Or do they have like a little nerd in the corner that they're referencing? He has some flashcards up. Oh, my statistics say go for it. And it's downright embarrassing. Analytics are good to look at for certain points in whatever, but honestly, when it comes to a lot of these games, you don't know what the hell's going to happen. You think about football, you think about weather elements. So many different manipulations can come into play. Basketball, is it going to be the right referee for you? Is it going to be, the crowd effect? Is it going to be like, Mitchell doesn't have his bag that day? James Harden went to a strip club the night before. I'm not saying he did. That's just, but
putting those rumors out there.
Yeah, I guess so. But I know, I think it's a guy that likes to party. So, hey, it just, you don't know. So it's like, man, like if you're good enough to have like a 60+ win season, rely on what you did the whole season versus just like make believe time in the playoffs. I think the Cavs were a better team than what they showed in this series, but I also do think that the New York Knicks are arguably the best team in the league. And I think we talked about this early on, John. Mike Brown, difference maker. Should have never been fired by the Kings. I am a big advocate for Mike Brown, who he is, and what an extremely good coach he is. I was so disappointed when he left the Warriors bench, as one of our coaches, because he is through and through a difference maker. And I think the Knicks are seeing it.
Yeah, the Knicks are seeing it. King fans are probably kicking themselves in the ass, thinking that was the best move for them. Yep. Knicks are an awesome team right now. We'll talk more about it during NBA talk, but yeah, Kenny Atkinson, you just got to stop, man. Don't dig a bigger hole for yourself, because if you continue with this, once Cleveland lets you go, that might be it for you.
Yeah. All right, got my take here. The 5 divers who never resurfaced in a popular diving spot in the Maldives brings up a good question of, do aliens exist and run our oceans? Yeah, it's stuff like this is really mysterious. I've seen several types of scenarios. I don't know anything about diving. Most first and foremost, rest in peace to all the divers. Obviously a serious situation, but they want exploring areas that, from what I understand, are maybe far beyond, what divers should possibly do. I think that, staying 100, 125-ish feet is pretty normal for scuba diving. But these divers, I think, were heading into caves that were 160 to 200 feet
200
deep.
feet, yep.
Pressure obviously becomes a big deal down there. People can probably freak out a bit because the oceans are obviously not explored much. And I think one of the rescuers that tried to dive into these to rescue them, unfortunately, passed away as well.
Yeah.
Crazy situation. And, when you start getting into these deep depths, it brings up things like aliens. It's like, if a lot of, like, obviously space is unexplored, but we have to think about our own planet, and an extremely high percentage of our oceans are completely unexplored. And, that's what brings up the myths of, rare species of certain fish or whales or sharks that are in the deep sea. You bring up Atlantis, that people, still hang on to dear life and say exists. You think about the mountain ranges that start in the ocean that exceed anything that we see above land, with Mount Everest, for example. I think Mauna Kea is the biggest mountain in the world because of how far it goes underneath the water. And thinking of stuff like that, it's just insane, bursts the mind. And when you kind of pair stuff like this, aliens are something that comes into effect. We're seeing a lot more UFO sightings. We're having a release of documents, but we're also seeing a lot of these activities happen over open water. And, we've seen, I think that there's footage of aliens that are literally diving into the ocean, and, that there's some lights that are appearing under the ocean. Nobody's in the area. There's no submarine contact. And it just kind of, things like this where you're heading into deep depths, you don't know what you're going to see. It's completely unforeseen. And just pairing this with, like, you can go, what's Marianas Trench? 36,000 feet deep? Something.
I think so, yeah.
Just insane. I might be way off on that number, but I think that's about right. And it's pitch dark down there. The pressure is beyond anything that I think we have the capabilities of really trying to go down and see. And I think after that submarine incident, nobody really wants Ocean Gate. Nobody really wants to, try to tackle, going into deep depths. So, it's a situation where it can bring up a kind of going back to this conspiracy of aliens existing in our oceans. That's where they're hiding, and kind of becoming a big deal. What do you think, John?
Yeah, it's crazy because, like I said, we've talked about this probably years ago. Like, what's really in our ocean? Aliens. I think we have said it. Aliens are living in our ocean. That's where they're at. That's where their headquarter is. We've seen the videos of ships just taking a deep dive into the ocean, So when I saw this, like I read into it a bit, saw a lot of videos into it, and there's a lot of question marks because these were professional divers. It's not just like
Mhm.
five tourists going diving. These are Italian scuba divers that do this for a living. And I think the husband to one of the divers was like, the lady took her daughter down. I think from what I read, and it's like she would have never put her own daughter in a risky situation if there were concerns. So it's like this should have been a safe thing. They were going into a cave system that's I think has been explored before. So what actually happened? People are saying this at tanks, but it's like, man, the tanks for every single person backfired. What
Mhm.
is it? What were they looking for? Or what were they going down there? What's hiding there? What's hiding in that cave? Because we've seen it. Like I said, it's a little mini UFO talk. All these
Mhm.
scientists disappearing that are head people looking into UFOs, extraterrestrials. All this talk, they're all disappearing, dying suddenly. Was this an inside job where they're like, no, they go into this cave, they're gonna find something that they shouldn't be finding, and they're gonna let secrets out. We gotta sabotage it.
Mhm.
Who knows? Like, and I know they're probably listening right now. We're not the biggest experts on it, but it's just like it's the questions everybody has. So they went into some cave systems, and like I said, it's already sketchy in itself. From movies, a lot of these case systems have been very rarely seen by people. So what could be in there? Could have been something that attacks them that isn't going to give signs, and that's why they died. Maybe, but like I say, could it have been aliens that they're like, hey, you're getting too close to our home base, like we're gonna take you out. And like I say, it's unfortunate for them, but happening to professional divers and all five of them plus the rescuer, it's like what really happened?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Seriously, what's going on down there? Are they getting too close to something? Is something being, kind of jammed in the area? And I've seen like a lot of this stuff where I think it was about, I think like a year ago or so, and we discussed it on this podcast, Sean, where the conspiracy of them being in the oceans kind of first started appearing,
Hmm.
and they seem to think that's like off the coast of California because there's been some UFO sightings and dives in there, and I've seen a lot of stuff since. But what they're doing when they're diving into the water, like the speed, the turn angles, how quickly they're able to change their speed in the water, it seems like they're able to move in a way where the mass of the water itself is not of any effect. Like they're
Mm.
just in open air practically. And, it's like, are they perfectly camouflaging down there? And if they're able to move at those speeds, you know, how far deep are they able to go? Are they in unexplored territory
Hmm.
at all times? And they come out to shallower areas to kind of explore. Um, we really don't know because I do feel like moving forward, we might see a lot more UFO sightings not really be in the air, but maybe
Hmm.
from like submarines, for example. We might, or our ships that we have at sea.
Yeah.
There's all of those possibilities, but it's something that is just kind of eye opening. And I'd seen something. I think it was like somebody filming over in Monterey Bay recently,
Hmm.
and they said that the object was kind of floating over the ocean and it was moving like at 25 miles a minute that they kind of calculated from their filming. Like it was
Hmm.
just astronomical speed. It was an orb or some type of light that just the speed it was moving made zero sense.
Yeah.
And you can't really equate it to really anything. And I think that's what they're trying to say about these things diving into the ocean. And it just makes sense. I feel like we have more eyes in the sky than we do our oceans.
Yeah.
So and they probably know that.
Yeah. And that's why they're stationed there. Atlantis. You mentioned it. It's an underwater city. How do we not know aliens are sort of running that right now? you
Hmm.
know there's that like bubble like in Black Panther, like Wakanda, where it looks like there's nothing there, but if you go through that bubble, you're gonna see a whole city of aliens just chilling there. Like, we don't know. Like and like you say, we have all these eyes in the sky. Where are the eyes in the ocean? Like I say, we gotta start sending more into the ocean and exploring more of the ocean, because there's just so much down there. Who knows what other minerals, resources that could help us as humans be down there. So it's insane. And I looked at an article right now with these 5 tourists. They were climate. They were checking in on climate change and how it's been affecting the biodiversity. And we already know climate change is a big topic. People don't like to talk about it. So is this an inside job to stop to see what really climate change is doing, and not stop the getting the resource of oil, gas that's affecting our climate? Who knows? But like I said, it's still, from what I'm reading, still open investigation on this, because it's not. They're saying it's human error, but five people dying and then someone jumping in to rescue them also dying. I don't know if it's fully human error.
Yeah. A lot of it doesn't add up. It's like, was it just like a domino effect of some sort? It just, like you said, professional divers, did they reach a point where some supernatural event happened that kind of altered their course? Whatever it may be, it just, it feels like you have somebody that could have made it out. I don't know. It's just a crazy event. And yeah, an unfortunate one, of course. But it's just like, it kind of brings up these moments of like, hey, is what else is possibly out there? And it's just the ability of these things to change course down there, the unknown that is sitting in our oceans. And it's areas that we just can't reach, and maybe they can. Yeah. And it's just crazy to think about, though. It's like, dude, man, maybe we just don't have to look that far. That's what it comes down to.
It might be that. So it was just one topic I saw, and I was like, man, we got to discuss it, because I'm like, it's aliens. It has to be something like that, because it's just crazy.
It sure is.
All right. So New York has officially taken over the top dog celebrity row at NBA games. Yeah. What New York is doing, and just what that celebrity row looks like, it is insane. I read the article today. Fat Joe getting kicked out of courtside at the Cavs game, but you didn't kick out Ben Stiller, Timothy Chalamet, some of these other big name guys. Like, well, why Fat Joe? Fat Joe's you got to admit, a staple of New York. Probably not the biggest celebrity nowadays compared to what he was back in the day. But man, that's the biggest show. I think everybody thought the Lake Show was it. Seeing Jack Nicholson, all the celebrities there. But what New York is doing right now with this team and the type of players it is, because like I say, it's not the LeBron James, it's not the Kobe's, these big name stars. It's these journeymen and really hard, great basketball players doing it in New York and making it to the finals. It's crazy. So it's always fun to see Celebrity Row. I saw a video today, I think a little bit before I logged on. I saw Kylie Jenner and Timothy Chalamet, and it looked like Kylie Jenner snuck in some alcohol because she was just pouring like a cup of tequila. So probably her 818 tequila, and giving it to Timothy. He was looking at her purse like, yeah, you really sneaked that in? I was like, oh, damn.
I saw that. He looked genuinely confused. He's like, where'd you get this? And then she took like, one of those, take a chaser, take a quick sip of the tequila and then down it, and then handed the rest to Timmy to finish off there. But yeah, look confused, just like us. Hey, something we would have done back in the day. So funny sighting there. But overall, yeah, the Knicks have really taken over the star-studdedness of NBA games. More so than even at the Lakers at this point. We obviously famously Lakers. Being close to Hollywood, everybody's over here. I feel like they are always pronounced at being just at the forefront of celebrity attendance. But
Mm-hmm.
MSG has really just kind of gone for it. And I feel like that
Yeah.
they've surpassed it. You have, everybody from Ben Stiller, Timmy Chalamet, of course,
Mm-hmm.
with Kylie Jenner accompanying him. And then you have, Fat Joe that gets his tickets revoked. I've heard of other celebrities that may not have that high of echelon of class list on, when it comes to being a celebrity. And they either get denied for their next time that they tried going because I think it was like some music artist that, or maybe a supermodel, if I'm not mistaken, attended a game, left that game early, left the courtside seats empty, then tried to get tickets again for a future date. MSG said, no, thank you. Give it to somebody else because they can literally do that. I feel like they get
Mm-hmm.
enough clientele through there that, they can be decisive on what supermodel, actor, singer that they want coming through.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason Sudeikis, Jason Bateman were in attendance the other day. And then you go to Cleveland. And then you have Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce in attendance. I don't know if you saw that. Kelce downing a beer. The Kelce Swift effect was in full effect for that game. So the series kind of had a lot, and I really appreciate that heading into the NBA Finals because I think it makes for a cool event to kind of see everybody lining up there.
Yeah.
And Timmy's living the life, though. Chalamet, he's got it made, being able to attend these games courtside, and being good enough actor to probably put anything on delay until the finals are done.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he is. I think James Dolan is that type of owner that's really petty that if you don't stay the full game, he'll never give you courtside again. That's why you see these celebrities in Celebrity Row. They're there the whole game. Unless it's like a big blowout, maybe they'll leave, but I think they know you leave early, you lose your tickets. But yeah, Timothy Chalamet is living the life. I think you always see his picture with who is it? It's an old picture when he was like a kid with a New York Knicks player, and it shows he's been a Knicks fan for life. Um, so seeing all the players going to, sort of congratulate him like he's on the team, it was fun to see, because I don't think you see many celebrities get that type of treatment. Spike Lee is probably like the biggest Nick fan, but I think you got to put Timothy Chalamet right there, 1A, 1B, of who is the true celebrity of the Nick fandom. Ben Stiller is there too. He's at like every single game almost.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we're at the point where Spike Lee might be a little bit envious of the attention Tim Chalamet's getting? Because he's been there decades and decades and decades. He's had famous interactions with like Reggie Miller back in the day. He's been a very entertaining aspect courtside. And Timmy Chalamet's been showing up the last few seasons, with the stardom, being able to sit courtside for all these important games, and then Knicks obviously being good enough to be there. He's getting really quick results. I feel like as a fan, obviously been a lifelong fan. I don't want to take that away from him, but the results he's getting while he's in attendance certainly seems to be, a lot better than what Spike Lee has kind of gone through.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he is a little envious, but it's also like Spike Lee's been there for so long, he already knows where he sits with the Knicks. And he's probably at an age where he's like, I really don't care. I just want to see this team win. I think he just wants to see his team win. So he's okay. And it's sort of like, hey, if he has to be the main guy and that's how we're going to win this, he'll let it happen.
For sure. No, absolutely. And if I'm like a celebrity and somebody kind of uproots me based off of stardom levels and they put me back a couple rows, I think I would just be super obnoxious in those back two rows, kind of egging on the situation, trying to get the attention back and then work my way back up to courtside seats is kind of the way to do it. But hey, it's entertaining. It's fun. I love seeing everybody courtside. I just hope I don't know. The Spurs can somehow muster a way to be there. We'll kind of get into it, but Knicks,
Yeah,
fun. Looking like
yeah.
Gotham with the NYPD getting ready to
Oh yeah.
take on the fans.
Oh man, they were prepping for that. I'm reading here as of Tuesday, so today, two courtside tickets on StubHub listed for the New York game in New York, 107,000 for one set of tickets, another one 101, and everything in the 100 levels at Madison Square Garden nothing is less than 6K. Everything listed is above $6,000. So
Jeez.
insane.
Super Bowl prices. Yeah.
Super Bowl
Absurd.
prices.
Does Spike Lee pay for his tickets to get there? I feel like he does.
Probably. I think he does. But like I say, I don't think he's paying the 101,000. I think he's already paying maybe a good amount. But he has the money, and like I say, hey, say there's an emergency and he can't go, sell it for 600K. You make up probably what he pays for an entire season.
True that. Yeah.
Make
his money back. Can I get right?
Yeah.
Wonder if the NBA superfan's going to be there. I don't know if you've seen that guy. Looks just looky kind of crazy. But I guess he spends, I think, like upwards of $500,000 a year to attend these big games.
The guy with the white hair, the hat.
Yes. And like there's like a meme that's been going around of him in the background of a Laker game, just looking like he wants to get involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where did this guy come from?
I've always been curious about it because you see him at a lot of games. I think you'd always see him at Laker games. I think he was at like Clipper games every now and then when the Clippers were like a big star team here in LA. Looking, doesn't really say what he's done. People think it's real estate, but in the billions.
Yeah, I've heard real estate. I think he has a lot of LA real estate, if I'm not mistaken. I kind of looked into him 2 weeks ago when the meme kind of started getting going. And I think it was real estate. And hey, good for him. Spend that money. Go courtside. Become relevant through your attire. Kind of funny. But you just get a lot of characters. I feel like when it comes to like baseball games, we always see like that dude. I think he goes by just Marlins man. He's always wearing a Marlins jersey behind home plate for all those big games. And Marlins most of the time aren't even playing the game. He's just a recognizable figure. So
for sure.
Yeah, most entertaining part of the playoffs so far, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it could be. Nick, I'm not trying to put it out there, Nick fans. I'm knocking on wood. I'm not trying to jinx you guys, but Knicks win this finals. Say they win it. You think Spike Lee, Timothy Chalamet, Ben Stiller get a ring? They got to pay for it, but they could get a legit championship ring.
I think so. So. And if I were them, I'd pay for it.
Yeah.
Even if it could be discounted. Yeah. No, they've been along for the ride. And I feel like you just need, regardless of celebrity, stature, whatever it may be, I feel like you got to recognize the greatness of and dedication of what it is to be a fan. Knicks have obviously been through it for decades and reward them. Yeah, especially Spike. He's been there forever.
We'll see. I see a lot of videos of like fans being like, "Oh man, I haven't experienced this at all since their last time in 1999." I'm like, I remember that clearly. I remember when they were in the finals. I'm like, it's been a long time, but I'm like, man, I was born. I was like, I remember it clearly.
Sure. Yeah. No. Exactly. I know. Some fans don't really like they feel like they go through it. But they don't to the extent that other fans do. There's always somebody that can kind of one up you. And, I always pinpoint my dad being a Cubs fan. It took literally generations of his family to experience a World Series victory. And he finally got it. And it just, stuff like that kind of takes bigger precedent too.
Yeah.
No, it's been since 99.
Yeah. And sort of talking about this, it's coming up in my mind. Ticket prices, things like this, like it's gonna be celebrity row. It's gonna be big shots, investment, all of Wall Street going to these games. But I'm like, but some of these true fans aren't going to be able to experience it because of money wise. But I'm like, but I feel like they have to do something, because I saw a video. I don't know if I sent it to you. I might have, but it was like some guy reporting to supposed Nick fans, and asking who was the better player. But it wasn't even players that ever played the game. One of them was I Show Speed and Drewski. They said the real name is like, who was the better basketball player, and they made up the reason why I Show Speed. I forget what his real name was, but they're like, he's a better basketball player just because he was quick, like just this generic stuff. And I'm like, to get into the building, you have to answer some, team quiz. If you fail it, it's like, nah, we're gonna give you a refund. We're gonna give this to a true fan, because it's like you don't deserve it. You're just there for the show, where these fans that have been dedicated to this team should be the ones in that building, because it'll make it more electric.
Yeah. No, I think to answer this question really good, John, we need boots on the ground in Oklahoma City with Thunder fans. And then we also need boots on the ground in Kansas City with Chiefs fans, because, who was the quarterback before Patrick Mahomes was there? I think a lot of fans won't know, who was there before. And then likewise with OKC, do they remember the Kevin Durant, James Harden, Westbrook era? Probably not. It's not. Just still pissed off about Kittle, by the way. I understand he went to high school there. Root for the Warriors, please. But yeah, it's I feel like a lot of just thriving fan bases have that, but it's a real shame. I agree. There needs to be some type of like prerequisite quiz that you need to take, or take some type of interview to unlock these tickets. And as a Warrior fan, I can relate, because I feel like you went from Roracle, which honored great fans, and the affordability thing, and being able to attend those games and have the crazy noise in that arena, versus going downtown, Chase Center, beautiful arena still, but you're just getting a bunch of, I don't know,
startups,
rich tech people. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, they're just there for the vibes, and it's not a winning environment. You want the people that will climb those greasy poles in the streets after the game.
and like I said, not to throw shade on anybody, because it's not me throwing shade, but it's like when I watch the games and I watch highlights, seeing the people in the stands that are wearing like a suit and tie with a basketball jersey on top of it, biggest cringe ever. I hate it. Like I say, it's just like, you just came from Wall Street. You're not a true fan. You just got these tickets from your company or whatever, because you sold the most stocks, whatever it is, or unloaded the most, to save your company so much money that they gave you these tickets. Like, I don't know why, it's so cringe to me.
An idea just crossed my mind, John. When it comes to people like that, like, let's just say that they happen to be a true fan, but they work on Wall Street, and then they're like, oh crap, well, I don't have a change of clothes, I'm gonna throw the jersey on above it. I agree. Doesn't look good. Looks terrible, in fact. I think that we need to trademark this, John, as a Banter exclusive. Tearaway office clothes, where they're just warm-ups. You rip them off, you have the full jersey underneath, and you're ready to go for the fucking game. Office cutaways. Banter exclusive.
Tearaway
jersey. Like we'll just have like the logo. Yeah, tearaway suit. We'll have the Banter logo next to the NBA. We'll trademark it.
That's good idea. But yeah, like I say, it's the one thing. Just talking about this, I saw it during the Cavs game. I think it was a Cavs fan that had it, or a Knicks fan, but it was just like, you're wearing a suit with a jersey over it. That just looks ridiculous. Like, and I get it. It's like, oh, I'm coming out of the office, but I'm like, in your office, keep a hoodie. In my car, I have 2 hoodies all the time because I'm like, I'm gonna need one eventually when I don't have one.
Yeah.
Put a hoodie on and then put the jersey over that. It looks a lot just more street. It looks a lot more, credible than suit and tie with a jersey.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, and then what are you gonna like? Take a napkin with your hot dog that you're eating and be like, just yeah. Have the street clothes ready.
Yeah.
And just be properly dressed,
Yeah.
dressed for the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that. Office clothes, dude. I've worked in the mortgage field for a little bit, had to wear a suit to work. I just if I had cutaways, I would have ripped it off before I got in the car. It's not that comfortable, and you can't convince me it's comfortable. It's not.
Yeah, it's like me. I think right now I wear a lot more relaxed clothes, but like anytime I worked, I think it's when I worked at Chuck E. Cheese, I would have to wear like not a suit and tie, but dress shirt, tie.
Yep.
Man, every time I left and I went to go hang out with the guys, I was like, I had my hoodie in my car because I'm like, I'm not going to show up to TGI Fridays to go have drinks with I was like, no, I'm wearing my hoodie because it's just more comfortable and it just looks more legit. Like, people know where I work. I'm not here to show off that. I'm just there to have a good time.
Exactly. You got to be business during the day, have a way to be party at night. Office cutaways.
Yeah.
We'll probably do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll look into it.
We'll
look into it. Oh, man.
It'd be so fun. Just a commercial I could think of right now.
All right. But here is my next take for you.
All right. Got my next take here. Big League Advance will run some big name player for a few years. After the recent payout from Tatis and Ellie De La Cruz, they will still have more prospects in the future. Big League Advance, is this? We're just talking contracts, big contracts that have been.
So this is a company that provided young baseball players $2 million advancement for 10% of all future contracts. So they're betting on prospects to do well, but it's also like if you don't do well, you still make $2 million because I don't think many people at times they're like, oh, I might never make $2 million, and $2 million is a lot of money for some of these young kids. So Ellie De La Cruz signed with them, got $2 million. Fernando Tatis Jr. signed with them, and now he's getting taxed, or not even getting taxed, just paying out what he agreed to, and he's refusing to.
Of course he is. This is the Padre way. I see he owes $3.74 million to the Big League Advance investors. I think his contract is $30 million a year. To just pay it. Just pay it. Like, it's a one-time payment. Just do it. No, kind of crazy look. I feel like, they're probably just keep doing this, right? For, whether they're international players, players that, are up and coming. It's like kind of like almost like a different type of way of like NIL in a sense, right? They're getting this, this big lump sum payday, obviously pay back in the future, but kind of carries them through. Because they're just bound for startup. They're going to be players that are called up really quickly. Obviously, the two examples, Ellie De La Cruz and Tatis, were players that were called up rather quickly, just because they're freakish baseball players. Tatis been kind of meh this season, and I think that there's a lot of talk about that $30 million a year being not really worth it. Was it at this point? Was it the PEDs that were allowing you to perform a bit better? I got in trouble for that, dude. Because he doesn't even have a home run yet. It took a while.
I don't think he has one yet.
Doesn't even have a freaking home run. Outrageous. Dude that was averaging 30 a year previously. Can't even get it done. But Ellie De La Cruz obviously can steal bases a lot. I think he still has the pop. I think he's double-digit home runs already, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I feel like that they'll just keep running with this because, after a while, if they sign a big deal, they agree to a certain percentage of that deal, right? Kind of like in Tatis, like it's not just
$2 million he's paying back. He's paying back 3.74. And, that's just what they'll kind of do on repeat. They'll find the next big guy to come up, pay him. Okay, now you owe us, blah, blah, blah. Seems like a good investment opportunity if you choose right.
It's a good investment opportunity. Like, are you screwing some people over? Maybe, but it's like Tatis. Overall, his contract, I think it's 340 for what, 11 years, 10 years, something like, or 14 years, 340. Mm-hmm. So it's like he's gonna have to pay, big league advance about 37 million total. Mm-hmm. Which, like I say, for big league advance, for one player, you invest $2 million and making $37 million just off of this contract. It's like you're making money, And Tatis, what he's saying is like, I'm only going to pay you $2 million and make you whole. It's like, not. It's like you signed a contract, like you did this, like you own up to it. I think Ellie De La Cruz was sort of trying to fight it, and it got dismissed all the time. He lost all his court rulings for it, and I think Tatis is going to try to dispute it as much as he can. But it's a smart thing for big league advance. Like I say, they've probably, I don't think we know how many people they've done this to, but they've probably have done it to so many young players. Some of them probably never will leave the minor league system, and for them, it's it's an investment. It's a risk. But Tatis, Ellie De La Cruz, they're going to be making, they made money off of this. And like I say, I think what's going to happen is they're probably going to have to start offering some of these kids more money. Instead of just $2 million, it's going to be like, okay, we'll up it up to $5 million, but 10% still of your future contracts. But they're kids, and families, they see $2 million, $5 million. They're going to be interested because that's life-changing money, if you spend it right.
But I heard what you're saying. And what it comes down to is, like you said, like, are they going to reduce the percentage for future players? Are they going to make it, maybe not 10%? Are they going to make it 5%? Are they going to make it, whatever? It's going to be something where they can make their money back, make the investment worthwhile. That's why they do it. But I was also thinking, I read an article. He signed this deal 7 years ago at 18 years old. Mm-hmm. Putting ourselves into 18-year-old selves, I see $2 million up front. Oh, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to sign that shit. Yeah. Let me get that money. Yeah, no problem. I'm going to get a $30 million payday one day. And then sounds like maybe he didn't read the fine print or didn't have an agent that read it. I'm not too sure of the situation. But it's just odd, dude. Like, you're getting paid that much money. Again, just pay it back.
Yeah. It's pay it back. Like, is it a big chunk of your contract? Yes, but like I say, 37 million out of 340, you're still making 300 million over those 14 years. That's a lot of money, more money than anybody would ever see. So it's like, pay it back if you're gonna be signing something like this. And like I say, I can imagine they told him exactly, we'll give you this $2 million, but you owe us 10% of every contract you sign here forward until you retire. Mm-hmm. It's clear, written, and like I say, Fernando Tatis, it's the big thing. It's like, do you believe in yourself? If you believe in yourself, don't sign this. Because like I say, if you feel like you're going to be one of the biggest names in baseball and you're going to make money, it's a lot of money. It's 34 million you're going to lose. But if you're like on the edge, or like, man, it could go well, it could not, $2 million is a big difference. It sets you up for investments for your future, your family's future. So, did Tatis just not have that confidence? And you could say he doesn't have that confidence because he can't even hit a home run this year.
Yeah, quite frankly, yeah. He honestly is drastically underperforming. It's crazy. Like, 0 pop this year. And is this contract something that he pays that yearly, or is that just all together for this contract?
Yearly. So for the contract, yeah. So whatever he gets paid. So I think I'm reading estimated it's about 3 point, what is it? $3.74 every year.
Yep.
For 14 years.
Well, and then he pays his agent on top of that, huh? Sucks. And I think that he's at the point where, like, yeah, like, I want that 3.74. Would have been nice. I only got $2 million for a one-time shot. You know, it sets me up in the beginning. Take advantage of that $2 million. Maybe he just didn't, you know, and that's that. Kind of surprising that he signed this too, because his dad made quite a bit of dough in the league.
Yeah. And like I say, it's an 18-year-old seeing $2 million opens up your eyes wide. Oh, I could buy a Ferrari, you know, I could buy a nice house, you know, I could do all this and just party, whatever it is. It is what did it. Because, I think a lot of people question why his dad even let him do this.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it's kind of shocking. Because his dad's very well known. I think to this day, his dad is the only player to have 2 grand slams in one inning. Yeah, I think he did it against the Dodgers as well. Yeah, way back in the day. But again, shocking. But again, got to pay it, dude. Contract shouldn't have paid it.
I'm reading this, and this is Sports Illustrated little take. BLA's website say it has agreements with over 700 athletes. Whoa. Some notable names among those include current MLB standouts Ellie De La Cruz, Jazz Chisholm Jr., Keibert Ruiz, Bailey Ober, Yanir Diaz, Keiter Montero, Brian Bello, Julio Rodriguez, and many more. Wow. Big names. They're making money if they do this then, and they're all at 10%.
Absolutely. A lot of international players. So it's like, you know, these players, you know, unless you had like a MLB connection, maybe, you know, you're worried about coming to the States. Am I going to have enough money to kind of live off of while I'm on a minor league contract? Because we all know if you're not drafted super high, but maybe bound for stardom, like you're not making a whole lot of money in the minor leagues. So that lump sum can really kind of get you over some hurdles there in the beginning.
Yeah. And like I said, that's why I think it makes sense for some of these athletes, because they don't know if they'll make it to the big show. You know, even in the NFL, like I said, there's not as many athletes or opportunities as NBA, MLB, so could make a bit of sense. But like I say, you sign up, if you make it in the NFL, it's a big paycheck you're going to have to give, big league advance.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, you guys do podcasting? Like, hey, well, we'll sign up for that. Nice.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 million?
Maybe. Yeah. Shit. Get us the man cave.
Yeah. Get us started.
Yeah. And then, you know, in the future, but hey, we'll probably, you know, read the fine print, try to work down the percentage up front a little bit. Take the 2 mil though.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw that. We'll see what happens. I know Tatis doesn't want to pay it. He's going to fight it. Just wanted to pay $2 million, you know. But like I say, you sign a contract. It's almost what we talk about. Like when you hold out, it's like, come on, you signed a contract. I know you want more money. You probably did well, but you got to play what you signed. You know, don't be going back.
For sure. Yeah. You know, it's he doesn't want to do this as much as he doesn't want to win a World Series. So that's why he signed for 14 years to stay with the team that can't win.
Yeah. I saw someone saying it sounds like San Diego's trying to unload some players, and he's a name on there because of the contract.
Wow.
Yeah. Someone's saying it's good. You know, Boston's a good place. So we'll see. Yeah. Boston's struggling too, so and
Boston's made some weird moves. Boston would make sense. I feel like the Yankees would probably be in play. Do you think the Dodgers would touch any Padre? Like, not in a weird way. Do you think that they would?
I don't know.
Do you think they would take on? I'll reword that. Rewind. Do you think they would take on any of the Padres deals? Obviously, Machado, we'll count him out because that dude, no thanks.
I think they'd be interested. Tatis, I think, would be someone doesn't come with the same baggage Machado did.
Yep.
More just needs more consistency hitting. Very likable guy compared to Machado, who was sort of hated throughout his time in the MLB and multiple teams just because of all the shady stuff he did. Like I say, I don't think Tatis has that type of, aura behind him, talk behind him. So I think they would be interested. But like I say, what the Padres are going to try to ask for, I think it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the problem. You guys have two extremely good outfield prospects in the minors right now. Zaire Hope and one other guy, I can't remember his name. Just beasts. And I bet you that at least one of them would be the asking price.
Which, like I say, which I don't think we should do. I think we have one of the best farm systems developing players. Like, we just got to keep it. Let's just stick with what we got. Like I said, we already put in a lot of money into some of these players. Edwin Diaz, who has pretty much is non-existent since what we paid him as our closer. So it's like, and it's the one talk with like Dodgers pitching, man. Every year, I always say if pitching stays well, we'll be okay. Pitching has sucked. Other than our key players, injuries, hitting, same thing. We're just struggling. Mookie's age is starting to look, for him, not hitting well. Still got a lot of years on his contract too. So, some of these big contracts are going to start biting us maybe in the ass, and, all the complaints everybody has, it's going to be non-existent eventually. You guys are going to be laughing at us for paying old man Mookie Betts. And like I said, I love Mookie Betts as a player, but old man Mookie Betts a shitload of money for not the same type of player.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's a good point. Mookie had a good game tonight. I think he hit a couple home runs, if I'm not mistaken. Doing it against the Rockies, though. Just take it as you wish. But yeah, no, it's what you want to give up. I wouldn't blame new ownership with Padres. Maybe they're sellers of a lot of these players. I don't know. They have some elements. They have a good bullpen with Mason Miller. Their starting pitching isn't that great. Their hitting is somewhat decent at this point, but yeah, it just seems like a team that will never get over the edge. With their division, let alone the rest of the league. I don't know. For some reason, I kind of seeing Tatis ending up being a Yankee. I'm thinking about their outfield. Jason Dominguez has been such a disappointment, much in part because of the injuries. And I could see him being a trade element, to go to the Padres. Would just kind of make a lot of sense, kind of get a decent prospect, as return pay. But let's see. And let's see how these contracts develop again. If they, they want to invest in Banter on the Rocks, we'll listen. We'll work out the percentages, and all that good stuff. We like incentives. If you got some type of hot dog roller, ice cream machine, slushies, and then a formidable man cave. I think that we're in business.
We are. So, but yeah, those are our banter takes for this week. Agree or disagree, drop your thoughts in the comments. We always want to hear where you guys stand with our banter takes for the week. But we'll go into it. We'll go into just some NBA talk, some sports talk. Like we said, Knicks are in the finals. I would say not surprised. Ready to see what happens in New York. I think Spike Lee said it best. If the Knicks win the finals, don't let it be in New York. Let it be away. They win in New York. It's gonna be, it's gonna be chaos in New York. Probably gonna have to bring the National Guard, put in a curfew, because that city will be getting destroyed. Batman, Superman, Robin, all these superheroes have to come out and protect the city.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. You're going to have to go full like Marvel, DC to try to make this happen. to protect everybody, because it's going to come down to that. New York's going to go nuts. It's a team, it's a city that, outside of the Yankees, and even with the Yankees, hasn't experienced a championship in quite some time. New York Liberty, I won't count them out, but it's just a situation where Knicks fans are going to go crazy. I feel like the Brooklyn Nets, nobody pays attention to. It's kind of whatever franchise over there. So people are going to go crazy. I think that this is the perfect team to have in the NBA Finals. I think that this helps the NBA quite a bit. And I'm super happy. Mike Brown, again, can't say enough good things about that guy. I think that he is. It's crazy to say, if there's an NBA coach with as much experience and the amount of times he's won has just some type of being undervalued, I think it's Mike Brown. I really like the guy. I just So I'm going to be rooting Knicks. For this finals, I'll go full Knicks, especially for the New York content that we would be getting. But a very close second would be the Spurs. Of course, dead last is going to be the Thunder. So props to the Knicks. They look phenomenal.
Props to the Knicks, what they're doing. I like that team. They're playing well. I would have liked it better if. Well, I don't think they would have faced the Celtics now. I think they would have faced Celtics the previous round, but that would have been a great showdown. Celtics, Knicks, just those two storied franchises.
Rematch.
But I think I would want. I have Spurs as my number one. If they get out of this series, they're down 3-2. But if they could get out from the West and go to the finals, I would have them as my number one. Just a big Wemby fan. But then I have the Knicks. Knicks I have there. I'd want to see them win. Last is OKC. What OKC does is just, for me, it's not enjoyable. So I'm hoping for a Knicks win. I truly want to see them winning it in New York because I just want to see what it's going to look like. I'm curious if some of these players will go out and celebrate with the fans in the city. But Knicks in the finals. I think it's great, but it's also, stars aligning for some chaos. Arsenal winning the championship in the EPL. These Arsenal fans are coming out of the works talking nonsense. Some of their players better than Messi, which makes no sense. These Knicks fans are going to do the same thing, calling Jalen Brunson better than Kobe, probably, which no disrespect to Jalen Brunson, but not at Kobe's level. Give him a lot of props for winning it for New York, but not at that Kobe level. So what's next? I don't know. What's the equivalent in baseball of like the Knicks winning? Is it the Yankees?
Yeah. Yankees look good. Yankees look very good this year. I think that there's a lot of potential. Certainly can't say it's going to be the Mets. Mets disaster, paying for all these players. Still can't reap the rewards of paying the second most in salary in the MLB, which is really sad. I think that's your next best bet is going to be the Yankees.
Yeah, and then I think in the NFL it's the Bills. It's like Bills winning. It sort of aligns all the stars.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Giants are on a good trend. Hope they have some success. But I think the Bills are best bet for New York State as far as that goes. I will say, speaking of just New York teams in general, Fanatics had a crazy sale on jerseys about a week and a half ago.
I saw that.
I ended up buying 2 Sauce Gardner jerseys.
Nice.
$4.99 a piece. Couldn't pass it up. So might I say I might become a bit of a closeted Jets fan coming up here, even though Sauce isn't there anymore. Just probably the best cornerback they've had since Darrelle Revis.
Yeah.
So I'll rep it. I'll rep the Jets for the AFC. Why not? give him a chance.
I saw all those jerseys. I think Tua was on sale.
Oh, absolutely he was. I think Daniel Jones was on there.
Was Kirk Cousins on there?
Yeah, Kirk Cousins was there. A lot of Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah,
Broncos. A lot of Russell Wilson Broncos. Out of all of those choices, I went sauce, and I doubled up on sauce. Double the sauce, double the fun. Again, awesome name, cool jersey. Got two different. I think one. They're both white. They're both the white and green, but they have different striping on the sides.
Okay.
I'll be repping them. I'll do a show and tell. They arrived this week.
Nice.
$4.99 for a jersey.
I was about to say, did you pay more in shipping than the jerseys itself?
Absolutely. I think it was at $9.98 in total in cost, and then shipping was $10. So it came out to be $19, two jerseys. Again, second best corner they've ever seen. So I might be wrong on that, but yeah.
Okay, cool. I saw that. I didn't get a chance to see all their inventory, but I saw the Tua. I saw the Russell Wilson. I'm like, I don't know if I'm really into these. I like Tua as a player, so I almost considered getting a Dolphin one.
Yeah, he was my next one. He was actually my next one, but they only had 3 or 4 XL, and I'm like, dude, I'm fat, not that fat. So I think I got double X's. Which, for my belly, formidable for the Sauce Gardner jerseys.
Yeah.
Excited for that.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. But that's a little jersey. Next topic, we sort of talked about it a bit. I know you mentioned it, early playoffs, Harden just disappears, a fraud. I think you were sort of about to start giving him his flowers because they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but then he sort of just did exactly what she said.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like anybody who has followed James Harden's career knows phenomenal player. I'm going to be a Hall of Famer. But just doesn't do jack shit in the playoffs. I don't think he's a winner. Like, you can look at it a few different aspects. You could look at it as dude gets paid. He's made $250 million in his career. Are you going to talk money? Like, he's got money. He's set for life, set for generations. Is he cool with that? And the winning's not as big of a deal. He left a team that he probably could have won with OKC back in the day. A fun OKC team, fun one. Not like today's OKC, with Westbrook and Durant. He probably could have won something with them, but again, wanted a team of his own. Went to the Rockets at that point in time, and just could never make it past the Warriors. And he's just he's top teams. He's been on your team, and as soon as you guys trade him, you guys were a winning team. I think that speaks for itself. Then he goes to the Cavs. Cavs don't look as good anymore. They show glimpses. Harden can show glimpses, but then he just has these games where he has 6 turnovers, 16 points, and shoots 3 of 15 from the field. And it's like, he's not worth it. He's not worth that money. He's an extremely good talent, but he just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he could do it. I don't think he should be considered the superstar of a team. I think he has to start coming and start taking more of that Russell Westbrook type of role where he comes in from the bench, and does it, and maybe if you're having a good game, then they'll keep you in the fourth, but if you're struggling shooting, it's like, we're going to keep you out and bring someone else that has a hotter hand. We're not just going to rely on your name and what you did in the past, because that's the past, analytically, if you follow what the Cleveland way is, you're too old, man. Like, you're not the same, James Harden you were. There's younger players that we should give an opportunity that probably are just a lot more accurate. It's what they got to do. So, it's unfortunate. Like I say, like him as a player. Like I say, the beard look, got it as well. Started it before he did. But just disappointment.
Disappointment. I don't know if he's disappointed, but yeah, disappointment. He just can't get done in the playoffs. So playoff Harden, just he's on repeat every year.
Yeah.
Sequels.
Yeah. So a little bit about James Harden. And then San Antonio OKC had game 5 today. OKC winning it 127 to 114. They're leading the series 3-2. They got to win one more, but tough game for San Antonio. Wemby was just shut down today. Didn't really do too much. Found a way to stop him. Thunder-wise, Hartenstein, I think, had a bigger game. Was listening to the game a little bit in the car today. Shea, though, it's what we've always talked about. This guy's a free throw merchant. 17 free throw attempts, 16 for 17. Only had 32 points, went 7 for 19. So overall shooting, without those free throws, he sucked. Bad game for him. Wouldn't be over 20 points. Like I say, his plus or minus only +8. Hardenstein was at +24. Cason Wallace +29. Alex Caruso +18. Like I said, a lot of other players did so much better than him and really helped the team. Where I saw one stat, or not a stat, a video, and I think I sent it to you, where they looked at him in FIBA, Shea with Team Canada. Team Canada doesn't get out of even like their just tournament because Shea can't do anything. FIBA rules are a lot more let him play hard. They don't follow the flopping. It's harder fouls, and Shea can't get to the line and can't help Canada win. So, and when I saw that and looked into it a bit, I was like, that's totally accurate. Without free throws, this guy is a subpar player. He's an average player. He's not a superstar. So hopefully the NBA starts maybe adapting a little bit of the FIBA rules to make it more just the game we love to watch. But games like this where it's just him going to a free throw, not entertaining.
Yeah. It's OKC is so incredibly frustrating to watch. Like, and I'm seeing all these highlights of SGA falling on every single shot he takes. Like obviously that's a little exaggerated. He doesn't fall every single time, but if he's falling 50% of the time, what product is that as a viewer? Who wants to watch that shit? It looks terrible. Yeah. Like that stuff. I've played, basketball, in my younger years, and played against people that would look for the flop, would always fall on the floor after a free throw or after a layup. And it was just like, damn, that kid always hits the floor. Like nobody's fouling him. It's not getting called. Like just let him keep falling. Who cares? It's weird. And SGA, he's going to fall down every time. He's clearly not going to get back on defense that quick. He's down on the ground looking for a call. And it's like, I blame him to an extreme extent, but I also blame the NBA and the referees giving into this shit constantly. Excuse my French. It's utterly ridiculous. And I don't know, this might cost us future NBA collab, Sean. I don't know where Adam Silver's hair went, but it must have just gone on his eyeballs, that he just cannot get just in front of any of this. He has done nothing as a commissioner, zero as a commissioner to combat this. He's instead crowning the person who makes this happen. And it's just utterly ridiculous. It's the viewership is down, the game is down, everybody sees it. We were really big, like you and I, we went against a zillion different OKC fans in a video maybe about 2 months ago about this topic. I think the general population is even more on our side now in comparison to the Thunder fans. It's ridiculous. It's a terrible product. Nobody wants to watch it. And it's just not basketball. It's like, dude, you're looking for a flop every single time you're going down. This game proves it.
Yeah, this game proves it. A lot of games prove it, and you make the point. And like I say, I'm okay if we don't get basketball collabs because we speak our mind. We're Banter on the Rocks. We're going to talk this shit when we need to talk this shit. But the videos are out there. Even those commentating on these national broadcasting call out his flopping. Why is the NBA not doing it? Everybody's calling it out. Reggie Miller, all these people that are calling the game, they're like, yeah, that was not a foul. He flopped. He barely got touched. Not. It's like wind touches him and he like flops and he gets called. It's like it's so obvious. You see it there. Why not make the change? Why not tell your refs, look at it closer, replay it? It's like, hey, actually this isn't a foul, ball to OKC or San Antonio, like, and do it on both ways, because, I think there's a lot of other players that do it, but Shea's the culprit, the big one in these playoffs. And what I will say, it's like viewership, I think right now may not be fully down, but I think people are watching because they want to watch Wemby. I think right now this series is being watched because of Wemby. They want to see him win and they want to see him take down OKC. Mm-hmm. No matter who goes, I think if San Antonio goes to the finals, it's probably going to be one of the biggest watch playoff series ever. If OKC goes, the first 2 to 3 games won't be watched as much on TV until we see sort of what the series looks like. If New York is leading the series, maybe like 2-1, 3-1, the next few games going to be the biggest watch because people want to see New York win it. They're not watching it because of Shea. They're not watching it, to see his flopping. They're watching for New York to win. So like I say, don't give, and like I say, Adam Silver is going to come out saying it was the most watched NBA and, it was Shea that did it. No, it wasn't Shea. Call cap. It was everybody else.
Completely agree. It's like, yeah, we have an MVP in the finals. It's going to be, such a big game, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Most viewership. Yeah, of course, he's going to ride the high horse of that. But again, you get down to the brass tacks. It's to watch that stupidity get defeated because it's just utterly ridiculous. You bring up a great point with the FIBA stuff. It's like, dude, when he doesn't get the calls, it's a whatever player. Like he does not need to do this, but he's also, he does this to get an MVP award. It's just it's a terrible product. We will repeatedly say that each and every week that we see it. And it'll certainly have me rooting for the Knicks. I think that's a much better team. And then, I think about this and I think about like hated teams in the past. I think about, people, me as a Warriors fan, I think about like why fans hated the Warriors back in the day. And it was because we had Kevin Durant come over, created this big team, blah, blah, blah. But you coincide that with the incredible talent that Steph Curry is, how great of a shooter Klay Thompson was, and Andre Iguodala is just the all-purpose god, back in the day. And then you have Draymond that could play insane defense. Incredible teams were formed, and we went on this little dynasty run that kind of eclipsed a lot of things, and people hated on it because Kevin Durant came over, put us over the edge, blah blah blah. But then that's a certain type of hate because you're good. And then you have the hate of, let's say, LeBron James. LeBron, he comes from behind, beat the Warriors 3-1, kind of took them down. A lot of people didn't like LeBron because of, he flops or, he's obviously very good. You think about the Celtics teams with Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen back in the day. You think about those teams. Again, talented, can get it done. But when it comes to this OKC team, we hate them for all the wrong reasons. We hate them for ruining the game in a way that makes it unwatchable. You're not going for a shot first, but you're going for a foul first. And it's just a terrible product. It gives off what are we going to have a bunch of youngsters that are going to come up and like wanting to flop the whole time, and then it's just going to be history on repeat? I'd rather watch a bunch of people try to emulate Steph Curry shooting a 3 every time down the court than watching freaking everybody flop in that. Which also brings me to another final point here, John. Why are we not fucking calling the technical fouls that we reinstated with flopping? This is the most blatant form of flopping we've ever seen in the history of the NBA, and it's never called. He's never fined, and it's just ridiculous. Adam Silver, take your eyeballs out of your ass and just watch. It's because it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
It is obvious, and I didn't think about it. We had or not we, because we're not NBA, but the NBA has it in place where you get fined and technical fouls for flopping, and Shea probably should be suspended for the rest of the playoffs with all the flopping that should have been called. Because like I said, there's some obvious ones that nobody even touched them. It's a total flop. You know it. Some of them they're very little on the edge, and there's a few that were our foul. But like I said, it's insane. I don't know what Adam Silver, what they're looking at and why they're just allowing it. I looked up Shea's FIBA stats. So he's only played 2 tournaments, 2023, 2024. I think that's the only tournaments that have been big. During FIBA 2023, only played 3 games. So like I said, this team didn't even get out of the group stage. 20 field goals, 8 field goal attempt, 14, so 54%. Free throw attempts 5.7. So not even close to the 17 he's getting. Averaging 22 points, so barely getting over 20.
Yep.
In Paris in the Olympics 2024, averaging 19 points with free throws, getting a little bit better, 8.3, but still not the 17, 20 plus. So it's like he wasn't getting those calls, and Canada's a good team. They got a lot of great players. You can't say that it's only Shea. That's a solid squad. Not being able to get out of the group stage in the Olympics with a so-called MVP, I don't know. A lot of question marks right there.
Big time. No, it's a great stat to pull up. You don't get the calls. You're not the player that you think you are. And yeah, we kind of talked about this too, John, like a couple of weeks back. He's a good player who really doesn't need to do this, but he's not an MVP player. And maybe that's why he does it. He exploits it. And, I think he kind of gives into it. He annoys the hell out of me personally when he has these interviews too. Because, he's just like kind of rubbing it in everybody's face. Like, I can literally foul bait and make it my objective, and the NBA will go along with it. So I blame it's really a 50-50 thing at this point. If you think about it, it's 50-50. SGA is exploiting it. NBA is not doing anything about it. So those FIBA stats are a perfect correlation to the player that he is. That he's a good player. Yeah, not a back-to-back MVP guy.
Yeah, no. Like I said, we gave it to him last year. It was the first time OKC did it. This year, it's just too much. NBA needs to change it. Like I say, their stats viewing is gonna go up, but like I say, we can't. If I hear his credit, SGA, MVP, I'm gonna be pissed because, like I say, it's not because of that. And I think you could take a poll of the entire USA. Only place you're gonna see it up because that is for SGA, Oklahoma, OKC. That area. Absolutely. Everywhere else around that, it's gonna say because of the Knicks. It's gonna say because of Wemby. It's those other factors.
Yeah, I mean, what else is Oklahoma City gonna watch?
Yeah.
Sorry, Oklahoma. I don't know. Maybe it's a fine city. Never been, but it's just that. And then I hope Mitchell Robinson gets more credit for viewership than SGA does. Because I'd rather watch him have a tough time shooting free throws and be an absolute beast on the boards, than anything else. So, Knicks all the way if that's going to be the setup. Spurs, hopefully you guys prevail, win 2 in a row. Wemby, I think all of us believe in you to make it happen.
Yeah, I think they'll figure it out. They got Popovich's mind still within that, San Antonio clubhouse. So we'll see. But that's NBA talk. Not much more. Like I want to talk. Like I say, I've watched a little bit more just because it was okay for the first few games of this series of OKC, San Antonio. But the last few, at least today, I saw all the free throws and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'll pass. I'll see sort of what's happening at the fourth quarter. it was pretty much over. So we'll see how the next game goes. I think it'll be probably Thursday, so hopefully they do well. But that's NBA talk, and next we'll go into some UFO talk. So, you wanted to touch a little bit on this, Tim.
Yeah, I know we kind of discussed, the ocean stuff. They did release, kind of got one main point on the UFO stuff as far as the new release of docs. I know that we got a lot of attention on the video that we last posted regarding this stuff. Appreciate everybody. Even their usernames were fantastic. It's just, all about UFOs. Big advocates for increasing the talk on it. And I think the main one that I saw, I don't know if you've seen this, John. It's Marshmallow Man is what they're kind of calling him. It's this marshmallow-looking type figurine in the sky, and it looks like some type of humanoid that's walking up in thousands of feet in the sky. And it's just the movement looks human-like, and nobody can really replicate what is making that happen, what it could be. You can't really say it's a balloon because of the way that it's moving. But it's fascinating to see. And I can't call it a projector either. It's broad daylight.
Okay.
So yeah, Marshmallow Man, even if you look at it I know photos, do certain type of justice with this, but when you look at it in motion, it's crazy. Like it's something that I guess they found back in 2015. It was just released in the Pentagon Files this past week. They call it marshmallow-like. It's I guess there was another sighting back in 2020 regarding the same exact thing. Is this something that's in the skies that is kind of trying to emulate humans, and they're just doing like a practice run in the sky before they come down onto ground? But what I think a big thing about all of this too, John, is that I think we're starting to see really clear videos and photos of these UFOs. It's always granulated, looks like you filmed it with a toaster back in 1995 type of footage that we've been getting released. And I feel like when it comes to this humanoid and a lot of this modern day release, or at least this most recent one, we're starting to see UFO that looks just like finally somebody used the most modern iPhone or recording device.
Yeah, no, I see a lot more of it looking into this Marshmallow Man. It took me a while to find a little bit of it, just on Google. I was getting a lot of the Ghostbuster Marshmallow Man, and then Marshmallow the DJ. Those are the two big ones that came up first.
Michelin Man might be another one.
Yeah, that could be another one. But when I see those images, it's crazy. And how they had that in 2015, then 2020. What it's trying to emulate, it's like, who knows? Because are they trying to emulate a human? Like you mentioned, is it a test run? And I think, like I say, it's sort of the question I always have. Like, Pentagon says they're releasing this. I know they have a lot more other UFO info and just videos that really prove that they are out there, but they're not showing it yet. They're giving us these, they find out what this was, and it wasn't Marshmallow Man, but they're calling it that to sort of keep us on our toes and sort of feed us, sci-fi fanatics and people that really believe it. It's like, let's just make them believe that aliens are real and with this, and not really tell them the truth of what they're actually doing. Or if they're already in the White House and running our, country.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw that clip of that guy that went on the news, and people are saying he's wearing a mask or something because he had like a mouth movement down here or something.
Oh, really? No.
Big thing about that. And I was like, whoa. It could have been nothing at all.
Yeah.
But it's just it's kind of crazy because people see stuff like that, and then you see like a huge group of people that are like, oh yeah, he's wearing a mask, or it brings up like aliens, or it brings up other things. Like it's like it turns into this big thing because we're being released damning evidence of stuff that we can't explain. So, that'll continue. And as this footage, again, it feels like we're watching a trailer in real life of like, it's just the greatest release of all time. It's like, what are we going to see next at this point? And, I don't know if you've seen that other one where I think it's like a storefront somewhere in like downtown LA that something walks by the front window of the business and it looks like an alien. It looks straight up like it's out of the movie Signs. And I think that footage came out about a year ago, but it kind of got brought back up again with Marshmallow Man because it's humanoid. And it's like, man, yeah, now let's look back at that one. But yeah, the storefront walked by. It's like, dude, like you can say I think people are trying to say, yeah, it's some lady that's, holding something over her head. But it's like, man, are you sure? Because I don't know. And then I just get the chills thinking about the movie Signs and the first appearances that they start to see of things walking through the street. It's just crazy. Yeah. It's real life.
It's crazy. But I think here's like my big question now is like, what happened in Miami? What happened in Miami? Just tell us. You're releasing UFO files. Yeah. Is it UFO? Is it something else? What is it? If it was some sort of like attack towards our country, just say it. Like I say, but don't keep us in suspense. Because like I said, there's a lot of evidence of a lot of people saying it was something UFO related. And there's like nothing coming out about it. Like I said, you're releasing all these files. This is the most freshest, one of the biggest, freshest UFO theories we've had in quite a while. Just release it. What actually happened?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I know we talked about it in the past with Rob, and it's like, dude, you have a response of it looked like upwards of 100 squad cars showing up to a mall, and if it's just for some fireworks that they say were supposedly shot off in there, 100? I don't know. That's crazy. And then you have like some footage being released. You have others. You have conspiracies regarding it. But the big thing is you have zero follow-up that I've seen on that whole incident altogether. It's like, what required that much of a response? There's no way it was fireworks.
No, we've seen other things and it hasn't, elicited that type of response. So it's like, what happened in Miami? What's going on in these other like things? What's actually going on with these scientists and alien people that research like UFOs, extraterrestrial, and space, that they're disappearing. What info do you actually have on it? Because like I said, it's suspicious. They're all disappearing, but now they're releasing all these files. Like, what did they find that they're like, we have to release a few of these things? And it's that question of like, what's actually going on? Like I say, I think our Central Intelligence, our CIA, the Pentagon, our president, and presidents for many years know what's actually going on, but they're just sworn to secrecy. And it's like they have to die with the knowledge, because if they ever say a peep, they're pretty much already going to disappear. And they're gonna make you disappear. And it's like, nobody wants to disappear that way. So it's insane. Like I say, I'm going to start looking up because I see that they're dropping a bunch of stuff right now.
Oh yeah. No, they're dropping a whole lot. It's like the part 2 of this most recent month. And it brought me down another rabbit hole too, John, of forest related disappearances in our Department of Forestry. There is so many unexplained disappearances where, I even saw like a Joe Rogan podcast this past week where he was interviewing a guy. Girl goes to take photos of something, heads down into a ravine, into a more heavily forested area, completely disappears. No remnants, no sign of her. And then the guy that went to go try to investigate that file 40 years later, because there's been it's still a missing person file. He tries to ask for the documents. The guy on the other end of the phone says, you're never going to get them. What? We talk about our oceans, John. We can also talk about our forests.
Oh, yeah.
There's caves. There's densely populated.
Yeah.
There's no way anybody's ever walked through, all of the, the forests and jungles of Brazil,
No.
the Amazon. Ain't no chance. Like, you think about all these places, the disappearances, staircases to nowhere. I know we kind of talked about that previously. I don't know, man. Creepy.
It's insane because it's the one thing you're talking about that makes me think, like, Ventura County, you know it. Driving from Thousand Oaks to Simi, when you take the 23 going towards like Moore Park College, like you see that left side where it's just like absolutely nothing for miles and miles until you probably hit like, it's probably like Piru or Fillmore area. But it's like, what is actually out there? Because it's like, there's no roads leading to that. Like, you literally have to hike it. And who's really going to hike that much? And like, what's actually hiding there? Someone tries to go out that way, they may never come back, because there is so much unexplored systems. And even in like the forest, like you say, the unknown stairways, you see a stairway, you just walk the opposite way, just leave the forest, never go back. But it's also like, the cave systems, movies talk about it, The Descent, one of a really great horror movie, it's a cave system that has monsters living in it, and some of these cave systems have not been explored, and there's a lot of people that try to explore them because if you explore it, find a way in and out, you sort of name the cave system and you want that glory, but it's like, how many people have been lost in those cave systems that we probably don't even know about and we'll never know about because the government's like, yeah, you aren't going to find the secrets we know about that are hidden there.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just like, people think that there's like a zillion different underground cave systems that intertwine with each other and go all across the world. And, how would we know if we don't explore it? Or if we do, nobody's returning to kind of tell us. It turns into this big slew of things. And yeah, man, like you just kind of start thinking, about all the unexplored territories. And I too think about all that area outside of, Simi. I think it leads up all the way into like Santa Clarita, like you mentioned, Piru, Fillmore. It's like, man, like that's a lot of open land. And for decades, forever, they've never built on it. So it's like,
why? And why not? You could create a freeway the way we create things nowadays. You could create a whole new city over there, but why not? Who owns it? Government does. Government doesn't want to build on it, even though they can make money off of it. There's something hiding.
And then, another quick little topic on that too. Have you heard about the, which kind of goes in effect with all this? There's a spot in Death Valley that there's like a very deep cave that goes there. If there's an earthquake all the way in China or Japan, that water shakes.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I'll send you a video of this after.
Okay.
It's insane. It doesn't just like, you're just saying like little tremors.
Yeah.
It all the way. And it's like opposite side of the world.
That's insane.
How does it move? But the world, the ground around you is not shaking at all.
Yeah.
Insane.
Who knows?
It's like, dude, if you connect that with caves,
maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Gotta be careful. That's how you could take over other countries with those cave systems.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's I'm trying to think about it. The way I learned in history, it's like you have to go through molten, the Earth's core. Like, how can it really affect? It's insane. I can't really fathom how it could really happen.
Yeah. And I mean, we watched, a volcano erupt live on this podcast. And it's like, just kind of correlating that to like what is beneath, the ground constantly. It's insane to think about. But like all of that is obviously unexplored. Nobody's ever been there. Nobody's ever been to the center of the Earth. If they try to get too close, it'll get too hot. Nobody's made it. I don't know, man. Crazy.
But maybe aliens have.
Maybe aliens have.
Maybe aliens have.
Maybe they're the ones who dug those holes.
Maybe. And the government knows why. Like I say, it's so much unknown. And like I say, these UFO files, these videos that have been coming out, like I say, I've seen a few. I think you get a lot more. And I get my UFO feed from you once I start watching all your videos and it starts popping up. But it's insane. Like I say, are they among us? I think we on this podcast say that they are. I truly, looking into it more, I think they live in the ocean. I think they have their cities there. They find their way out because there's so much of the unexplored ocean, especially between the continents. Like there's places that boats don't even travel through. Like, so what's really down in the ocean there? And like you say, we have all these satellites, all these cameras in space. Why don't we do that in the ocean?
Mm-hmm. Why not? Yeah. Another place that you wouldn't catch me is, unless we do a podcast thing there, the Appalachians. That's another thing. My TikTok's filled of the Appalachians, skinwalkers, everything. It's like, dude, do we have hybrid species of aliens? How far advanced are we here?
Yeah.
So crazy. That's ocean, Appalachians, mountain ranges, forests.
Yeah.
Could be anywhere, John.
Yeah. Like I said, I think when you were living up north, you were a lot closer to those forests that were probably there's a lot of rumors in a lot of those forests up there.
There sure was. Yeah, the denseness of the redwoods of Northern California is insane.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, we'll see what these UFO files bring the next few weeks, and as they continue releasing more. But you could call them episodes of the files, segments of them, because there's always something new. But yeah, Marshmallow Man, it is a big one out there right now. But like I say, you do have to search. Just don't give up, because once you've opened it up the first time, you're going to get Ghostbusters, you're going to get the DJ. But scroll down a little bit, you'll get the UFO one.
Yeah. Yeah, keep looking.
Yeah.
You'll find it.
Yeah, you'll find it. And last, just summer movie check-in. We had one movie, your movie, Mandalorian and Grogu, came out this past weekend. I have the notes. It's a big one. You made $81,670,433. So big opening weekend. It's a good start.
Big opening weekend. I saw a decent amount of disappointment in the movie. I haven't seen it. I think if I saw it, I'd be pretty stoked about it because I love the series. Really like Pedro Pascal as an actor. I think he's great. But yeah, I haven't looked too much into it. Maybe, of course, like the people that play down on it are the ones that will pop up first. But I'm really happy to see that the box office is that good because I think a lot of people just want Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it opening Thursday.
Okay.
I liked it, but I think it could have been a TV show, and I would have been okay with it.
Okay.
So like I said, it just reminded me, it just felt like an entire TV show just all put together. Okay. So one season Makes of sense. The Mandalorian put together. But overall good. The story was good. The characters gave us, I think, that Star Wars fix we've been waiting for and needing. And I think it for the true Star Wars fans, it really did hit really well. It was really well made. Story was good. Overall, like I say, wasn't disappointed, but felt like it could have just been another season on Disney Plus, and we would have been happy with it and been stoked about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes entire sense because when you watch the season, it feels like you're watching a full-length movie. Yeah. It turns out fantastic. I still really want to see it. Jen is arguably more into Star Wars than I am at this point. Like, it's outstanding. And I think we've convinced. Well, we didn't really take much convincing, but I think because Theo's gotten really into it. I think he wants a Star Wars themed birthday party coming up.
Nice.
So that'll be a lot of fun. And that is my free excuse to purchase that Darth Vader outfit. So
it is. It's a good excuse.
Some voice changing masks. Nerd alert. But those look so sick.
Yeah. It's the way you get those authentic lightsabers at Disneyland. Be like, hey, we got to get them legit. We don't want the cheap ones. We need have the legit ones.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. No, at the party, John, I think you're going to have to let me use the force on you, and you're going to have to act like you're being strangled.
Yeah.
Or giving you clairvoyance enough to find the rebels' hidden fort.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yeah. I'll wear my Republic outfit.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll find with the helmets that are like going all back like that and the tan suits.
There it is. Hell yeah. It'd be so sick. But good stuff. Yeah. Great opening weekend. Love it for Mandalorian. Sorry it didn't meet everybody's expectations, but I think I'm just happy that I'm on a better start this go around for box office movies.
Yeah, it is a good start. So this coming week, what's releasing? I think we only have
is it Backrooms?
Which was that yours or I'm trying to remember.
I got Spielberg Alien movie, got Backrooms. I got Moana, and I got Odyssey. Odyssey, I think, is what, July, August?
July. Yeah, that's July. Yeah, Backrooms is the other one. So you're going to have 2 ahead of me, so it's okay.
Backrooms is going to be good. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people saying it's going to be probably the biggest horror movie opening. I think Obsession is sort of helping it give it, more hype. Especially with, like I said, the young directors, Backrooms also a young TikTok created his own YouTube, movie and now creating the Backrooms.
That's awesome.
It's what's sort of going to help it, I think. So, yeah, you'll have another good one. And then the one thing I texted you, the one movie I forgot to put into our list of options, Masters of the Universe, just didn't come up when I was searching it, but that one, we'll see how it goes.
What's that about?
He-Man. So, like the cartoon, the action figure.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I say, it's all good. Yeah, I don't think I got
CERN in that. Oh.
I don't even know. I don't. Yeah.
Probably will do terrible.
Yeah.
Jared Leto's not on a good run.
Yeah, I don't think my first movie's not till June 5th with Scary Movie. So
okay,
got some time.
Take my strong hand.
Yep. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot coming up. But thanks everybody for listening. Man, it's already past what we normally go through. Thank you for listening, bantering with us today. As always, your support keeps this thing going. As always, do us that solid. Hit that subscribe, hit that follow, hit that bell just to get the alerts when we drop new full episodes, segment episodes. Like I mentioned, I'm back to a setup so I could finally edit a lot better. So my editing hasn't been as great due to my lack of equipment, but I'm fully set up. So it'll get back to par with what we've been doing. And as always, just jump into the comments with your banter takes, tag us, let us know what you think or what you want to hear about.
Yeah, likewise for me. Editing, it's on the up and up for us here. Got some skit ideas that have come to mind as well, so I'm going to be trying to implement those with some of our videos in the future here. A little bit less traveling, a little bit more at home. Should be able to focus a little bit more on it too. But again, appreciate each and every one of you guys for, of course, joining each and every week. Don't forget, like John said, follow the subscribe button. Check out that movie box office video. Just got posted up here this evening. Let us know what you think. That way everybody kind of can see, what week 1 looks like with the draft. So thank you so much. Appreciate all you guys, and peace.
Peace. See you.